Raditz would have been a way better dad than fucking Goku, man. I'm telling you, Raditz.
You're bugging.
Goku was barely around, right? You look at him, he's like, yeah, sure, he was carting him around. Mind you, the day that Raditz shows up, right, is the day that Goku decides to introduce everybody to, his child and shit.
Even the way Raditz held that nigga was way more fatherly and gentle.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna break it down, break it down, break it down. Gonna break it down, break it down. And you know we lie.
What up, everybody? It's the Well-Spoken Token coming at you again with another episode. Yo, thank you for clicking the link today. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. Yo, I hope that you're having a blessed, wonderful, fantastic, filled, and awesome day. Fulfilling, if you will. Hey, wherever you are, whether you're driving down the highway, flying to the moon, climbing the mountains of Mount Everest, I'm so happy to have you here today. Yo, so I've got my brother with me. Say what up to the people, bro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are well.
That's what I'm talking about. Short and sweet. Welcome back to another episode of the Well-Spoken Token podcast, man. I'm super excited to be here. I gotta ask, I always check in with brother at the beginning of the pod. Yo, how has life been with you, bro?
Shit's been all right, I guess. We're in the middle of moving, and I'm also getting ready to fucking go underway for a couple of weeks. So it's been real annoying.
Yeah.
You said what?
Also, that boy getting ready to move around, man. That's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna miss you, man.
Yeah. Whatever. All right, nigga. We've been posting a lot of shit to buy nothing groups and all that other shit. Niggas have been in and out the house, kind of taking shit that belongs to me that I gave away. I gave away the base. Today, literally like 20 minutes ago.
Hold on, that base is like 13 years old in the fam?
No, hell no. What the fuck are you talking about?
I thought you oh no, that's the guitar.
Yeah, the green base. I got that at the flea market in Gatesburg.
Got you. Yeah, I was just saying, I was like, hold on, with the old base?
Yeah. Played it one last time. I was like, all right, to a new family.
Did you put the head against the wall and then just kind of thumb and thrum?
Nah, nigga, I'm not in the hood no more, nigga.
I can play real.
I'm okay. I have an amp, nigga. I don't have to fucking poke it against the wall and let the vibration be the amp.
Yeah, play a little wall bass,
little wall bass. That was a decent era.
Yeah, right.
That was a good era, I guess.
I ain't got no chords, no amplifiers, and nothing. I'm just gonna go ahead and practice my bassing up against this wall.
And that vibration is gonna take me to new heights.
Everybody in the house gotta feel this.
Y'all niggas is gonna love what was the name of the band? Maki or whatever the fuck. We don't gotta talk about it.
Yeah, bass times, man. Learning bass.
Yeah, learning the bass.
I'm still not good at that. But yeah, so you gave away a bunch of shit this last weeks or two.
Yeah, gave away a bike. Gave away
the BMX?
No. Nobody got that yet. Somebody might take it, but we'll see. It's posted though. Yeah, and the buy nothing groups are crazy because niggas will be on the buy nothing joint and they'll give you a sob story about like, oh, I just lost my fucking my dog just lost his leg and I need those bar stools. He can only get mad hops. He can't get regular hops no more. So in order for him to sit with me, he got to jump on the bar stool.
I can't do the matter, but my po dog. I need these. Why the fuck? I don't need an explanation as to why you need to buy something from me.
I don't, but it's like it's a buy nothing. So like niggas are trying to get preferential treatment because the shit's free. Yeah. And I mean, I believe in if I got something, the ultimate karma is to give it away. Give it to somebody who's going to enjoy it. I wanted to give it to somebody who was like a kid or like a black person who wanted to learn the bass. I'm like, yeah, man, this is a good starter bass. It's not that great.
Yeah, it's gonna take care of you while you're getting it in, man. I learned to play and about as bad as this, about as good. Did you give him the amp too?
Yeah, I gave him the amp.
Oh damn, they gotta come up.
Yeah, they came up. Somebody probably just gonna sell it.
Yeah, I was about to say, did it just go to another musician or a nigga that was gonna take it straight?
I don't know. The nigga, he seemed like he might play something, but I don't know. He was given, I'm about to sell this.
He was like, hey, look, man, I got on this to do a trade up, man.
Right.
I need $100 for this.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're not gonna get $100 for that bass. You probably get like 75.
Oh no, but that's what I'm saying. 75 is way closer to 100 than nothing.
Yeah, it's 25 short. I can come up with 25.
25 is way easier. Asking somebody for $100 is like, Asking for 25 is like, oh, you know what, man? I was gonna spend that on a bullshit ass lunch.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna go to Chick-fil-A and spend half of that. Here you go.
Right. Nigga, I'm trying to get that new Hogwarts legacy, man. Give me your base so I can trade it.
Yo, man, I'm trying to go ahead and do the Glock Avada Kedavra.
I don't know. Avada Kedavra or whatever. Gives a fuck.
Trying to put some bodies on the motherfucking board, man. I'm trying to make.
We both know nothing about Hogwarts legacy, so we can move on.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm trying to do wizard drill music, man.
Yeah, right.
Like,
which is just UK drill.
UK drill. I was just saying.
They already don't talk about guns, so
yeah, it's wow. Yeah, we just sticks has now become wands.
Yeah, right. Stick. No, we're not doing another one. We're not doing another UK
not
drill.
Another thing. UK drill thing. I'm just thinking about the bars about going to all.
Yeah, no, we can pass on. We can move on.
Phoenix core, horrorcore. All right, enough. I'm sorry, but that's wild because I've been giving shit away. Like I'm in the process of moving as well over here, and I'm just keeping everything and throwing that shit right in the garbage. Got a big box of cups, and I'm just like, this shit doesn't even get used. I use all like of 6 cups in the crib. I do not need fucking 40 cups.
Right, there's only 2 people in here. That's a nice shirt you got there, nigga.
Oh yeah, nigga, yeah. You know, shout out, I appreciate you, man. Shout out 7 Hearts, man. I love you guys.
You know, when I say that's a nice shirt, it's not to make you be like, oh, thanks, man, for getting the shirt. No, nigga, I'm just plug the shirt. Don't plug me, plug the shirt.
How often can I say thank you? No, like I say thank you because I didn't buy the shirt. You know,
we got a brand to run, nigga.
Yes. Shout out to 7 Hearts, man. Y'all make dope content. Y'all make awesome apparel. Look at this Boma, man. She looks fantastic, man. Look, it's so damn good. Also, with the emblazoned 7 Hearts over the hat, you know, I just had to come out here. Beautiful sizes, size charts real. Big nigga body all day. Yeah. I'm just saying these niggas make great show.
Pretty bad at it, but it's okay. Fine. We'll get you some real ad reads one day.
Oh damn, that's crazy. He said, "Fuck you" and that ad read. You know, it was like
it was not cohesive, but it's all right, nigga.
No, excuse me. Okay, hey, check out 7 Hearts. Go. All right, wait. Check out 7 Hearts. Go check them out on Instagram, man. You can check out all their catalogs. Check out the link in their bio. You can buy all of these awesome clothes, apparel. You see me in a lot of their clothes and shit. They are affordable and they are pretty good about their shipping. Shout out to you guys. We always love rocking your shit, especially on the show. All right, bro.
That's better.
Yeah,
that's better. Them niggas actually support us. They're real good niggas.
They really do. They're really good people. I'm sorry. Excuse me. You got the real deal ad read all the way up. Yeah, I'm not a paid actor. I'm here really supporting the shit. I wear this outside. Y'all got a couple joints, and when I walk out in the crib, like I walk out the crib, motherfuckers be like, "Oh shit, hey, is that Sora at 7-Eleven?"
That's not 7 Hearts.
Ooh. Hey, that's crazy. Is that Black?
You got Black Gara, Killua, and Gone, nigga.
Yes, I was about to say, and also Black Bowman. This is also dope. Anytime I'm looking for a night skin shirt, I'm coming over to them. If I gotta call them night skins at all. But nah, man, in the process of all this moving and shit like that, I actually, you know, when you start moving shit down and you gotta like start picking out your entertainment for the day, it's like, all right, look, some of this shit gotta go in a box. So what's going last, right? Do we put the PlayStation in the box? Do we put the Xbox in the box? Like, what are we gonna do first? So in the process of all that shit, I was like, man, hold up. I'm gonna go ahead and start packing up these motherfucking books. And in the process of the books, I found a bunch of our a bunch of our manga collections, and I forgot that I had bought Boruto. I was like, oh shit, I forgot that I bought Boruto. I need to catch up because I had let the shit kind of build up and shit like that. So I went and I jumped online, I jumped on Viz, and I looked and I was like, okay, the last 3 chapters, I can watch a couple of videos to catch up. And as soon as I got the last, I was like, all right, cool, watch the videos. And I jumped in, read the last 3 chapters. Nigga, did you know that we're getting ready for the Boruto Shippuden arc? Or whatever they're gonna call that.
Whatever they're gonna call it, I don't fucking know. Yeah, I heard about it. I haven't followed Boruto closely, so yeah. I mean, it seems cool.
I'm so invested in Kishimoto and like what he's putting out and shit like that. So I like
Kishimoto took over Boruto.
Yeah, Kishimoto been back.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, like he been back for like the manga for like since the Ishiki fight, like when Baryon mode and all that shit like that. He's been back for a good bit now.
Well, go fucking figure.
Yes. I mean, that's why we're getting like, the light novels and different shit like that. It was like this nigga's back and he's really kind of trying to push the content. And now we're here at the portion where like a lot of people didn't really get super into Naruto until after the time skip, right? They were like, oh shit, well, let me go. And they go back and like check out the rest of the shit. I think it's going to be the same with Boruto. Like, light spoilers for Boruto, but I mean, anybody that started the anime or read the first one, they know that at the very beginning, we start in the future, technically. Like, we have like a semi grown, like Kawaki and a semi grown like Boruto, and they're kind of going head to head, and it's very ambiguous. You don't necessarily know like what this shit is going down and what the fucking Kawaki's talking about. Is like, is Naruto dead? Is he not? And we've got it confirmed. Again, spoilers like a motherfucker for Boruto, but we got to confirm that what's going on with Naruto is he's been placed in another dimension, right? Where him and Hinata have been placed in another dimension.
Why you say it like that?
Hinata?
Yeah, well, since when do you say it like that?
I don't know. I was trying to.
Tokyo Revengers got you saying it like that?
Yeah, I guess so. I was like, wait, I think I'm.
Nigga, you started on the dub. Nigga, quit being weird.
Right? Yeah. Hinata, excuse me, but yeah. So Hinata, yeah, I guess I keep saying, but Hinata and Naruto both end up in a different dimension where they don't age and they don't need to eat, right? And they're just like sent there by Kawaki because that nigga.
What do they be doing? What they do?
I don't know, like that. So that ass, here's what goes on, like right. At this point, we've had a severe power down of Naruto and Sasuke, right? Like they both.
Yeah, one nigga lost the eye, and the other nigga just don't have 9 tails no more. So they basically regulate.
It's a bit power down. They're still very powerful. They're probably the strongest like motherfucking ninjas in the goddamn village. But essentially, what's gone down is that now the two new most powerful motherfuckers around are Kawaki and Boruto, right? There's the only two niggas that can really deal with this, like most of these bad situations. Kawaki is so grateful to Naruto for like basically being a dad figure. This nigga was like, I was traumatized and beat on for all my whole life. And then this nigga showed me some love and compassion, let me call his son as my brother and called me his second son. And now I'll do anything for that nigga, even die. And I'm so worried about this nigga dying because he's like, basically every ninja up to this point has just been a nigga that's going to die early. They have short lives. They don't live long because they're always throwing themselves at shit that they're technically not like capable of dealing with. He's like, I was raised to be a killer. I'm not a ninja. I'm technically a killer first. I've just learned the ninja way. And he's like, rather than fucking deal with having to lose you, I'm going to seal you away. And the big thing is because Boruto has Momoshiki inside of him, like, parallel Naruto and fucking the Nine Tails, right? And Momoshiki's like, yo, Boruto, one day you're going to slip up and I'm going to fucking take over your psyche. When you're at your lowest point, you got to retreat in your psyche. When you're sad as fuck, I'm going to take over you because your will will be like fucking weak and shit. I'll take it over and I'll fucking take everything you love. And Kawaki's like, that's bad. I hate Otsutsuki. And Boruto's like, I don't like that shit either. And he basically tells Kawaki, he's like, hey, if shit goes down, just kill me. Ice me. Like, just go ahead and do it. Cool. And at one point a month or so ago, again, spoilers, Kawaki did it, and everybody was like, oh shit, he killed him. And then Momoshiki's like, nah, fuck that. He resurrects Boruto. And it's like, okay, Kawaki basically looks at that as like this is eventually going to happen again. Like, you're going to fucking lose control. This nigga's going to drop everybody. And if he kills Naruto, I'm going to be fucking upset. Like, I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to go on a rampage. So he said, fuck that. He uses his newfound abilities, locks Naruto and Hinata away, in the fucking, the spatial realm and shit where they
Tsukuyomi, but not that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like he has Ishiki's powers, like
yes. Once again, Tsukuyomi, but not that.
Exactly, right.
You can try to explain that shit to me. I'm always be like, yeah, the other thing that's like that.
It's more like Kamui, but like,
right.
It goes to a different dimension. You hold them there, but blah blah blah. So yeah, that's the whole thing. And now I'm looking at Boruto and I'm like, that's crazy because at this point you got your homeboy. He's sealed away your dad, right? And his whole objective is to kill you. I'm thinking about the fact that now Boruto has to go from adolescence, like, cause he's only like 12, like he's like 12 or 14 here. He's got to go from adolescence into adulthood without like a figure to like kind of be around. Like at the end of the chapter, like essentially Sasuke shows up kind of like to put as like a semi equalizer in the situation. And it's like pretty wild, the drop off. But I was just thinking, I was like, God damn, this nigga's got to go. Like, he had a dad. He fucking regretted, like not regretted having a dad, but he resented his father for like a great deal of the fucking anime. And now that nigga gone. And I'm like, damn, that's a hell of a parallel. And I just started thinking, I was like, I wonder if Kishimoto is going to dive deep into like the feelings of that nigga and how he's gonna like how is this evolution? How is he gonna stop himself from going into this dark place where he's going to be taken over with like all of this turmoil and shit? Very exciting. His Targ no Jutsu ain't nearly as strong as his daddy's. Like, I'll just say that. But big shit's happening in Boruto, man, and big shit is happening here, man. I hate to ramble on for a bit there, but
yeah, no, you did basically give a Boruto summary, and I'm like, okay, where's he going?
I like Boruto, man. I love that shit. But I was like, the reason I even went back into it because I've been diving into a bunch of old anime and a bunch of old things because like now
is Boruto an old anime?
I mean, not it's not old anime. I mean, it's been out for a couple of years. I've been diving into a bunch of anime and things like that of my like that I wasn't like really keeping up.
What are the things like that? I'm sorry to keep shitting on you like this, but
what
are the things
good.
like that?
So I went.
You say things like that. I'm like,
things
okay,
like that. What the fuck do you mean? So I was reading like I went back and started like rereading Dragon Ball, right? Like I was like, let me go ahead and go all the way back and like not Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball Z. Because it was like the start of Goku's like fatherhood and shit, where he's like he's dealing with Gohan in the like opening series and shit, and kind of like the fact that we don't necessarily know how those opening years of like Goku and a newborn went. And I was like looking at that shit, and then I was also going back and I was looking at like fucking Hunter x Hunter. I was like, oh, let me check this shit out again. And I was like, damn, like look at Gon like living his life with a single mom and shit. That'd be wilding. And I was like, what do all of these niggas and me have in common now? It means I'm having a motherfucking son. That shit's crazy.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
wow! Oh shit!
all these niggas,
Kid reveal. Wow.
Endeavor, father, Hohenheim, a light. Yeah, we are all these niggas in common. What do I have in common with all these niggas? Yeah, I'm a goddamn dad now. Well, not a dad now. I'm about to have a son. I'm about to have a son in June, y'all. It's crazy.
Wow, that's so
big
crazy.
Reveal.
Wow, big reveal. Oh my god. Brr.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna level up. I
wish I could experience the same feeling that some members of the audience might be feeling. Like, oh shit, this nigga about to have a kid. That's so great,
man. Pie baby.
Yeah.
Having a son. God reached down and gave me a child. My dick works. I'm just saying that was something that I was very like excited about. That was actually the first thought process that I actually had, man. Because not to be morbid or something like that.
Your first thought was my dick works?
Yes. Because when I found out like that I was having like a child, right, or a baby, the first thought was I was like, oh shit, my dick works. Because Pops went to the grave like joking around with me about the fact that my dick didn't work. He's like, by the time I was your age, I had 3 children, and I was like, damn, yeah, Dad, you were 22 when you had me. And then 25 when you 24 when you had Wody, and then motherfucking me.
Nigga is not giving a fuck today.
And then he was 26, 27 when he had motherfucker. No, he was like 20, yeah.
When he had Villain, yeah.
Yeah, 27, 28, yeah. He was like 28 when he had Villain. And I was like, God damn, nah, man. I'm 30 years old. And we found out, blam.
You found out when you were 30? You found out, you did find out when you were 30, but the kid was probably conceived like before.
Oh, no, definitely conceived before. I found out like 3 days after I turned 30 that I was like, 3 days after I turned 30, I found out I was having a baby, man. I was like, oh, usually with us, it's never a situation to be worried about that kind of shit because she's got a lot of like, issues, body stuff like that. And so we were like very worried. You didn't think that we were ever going to be able to have children without like medical assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very crazy out the blue when she looked at me and she was like, hey, I think we should take a test. It's been like 2-3 months. And I was like, well, that's pretty normal. But I mean, she's like, yeah, but like 3 months. And I was like, okay, whatever. Cool. You mean there might be a baby in there? And I was very excited. I was not as scared as I thought I might have been. And then
you are 30. So.
Yeah, I know, right? And I was like, oh shit, I'm 30 years old. I'm pretty much like at the point where I'm pretty much I pretty much figured out where I'm at as far as like life goes. I know that like I have to work hard. I know I've got to put shit together. I'm not very like worried about how to do shit, which is I think a big like issue with a lot of new parents. It's like, well, how do I do this and how do I get that? I was like, at this point, I'm 30. I've pretty much understood. Like I've been around children. Like I've been uncle-ish before. Like it's never a situation of like, oh God, a kid. So once we got the actual confirmation, went to the doctor and shit, I didn't actually start getting anxious probably till like the 3rd month in, nigga. I was like, oh shit. Cause that's when I started looking around in my environment going, I need more room. I need more space. oh my God, I need less toys. Like, I need less toys for men and more toys for small children. Like it's humbling. It's fucking crazy. I again, one thing that I thought I was gonna do is I thought it was gonna be immediately tears. I thought I was gonna cry like right off the bat. I did not. I was not actually like tearful because again, this was just like a baby growing. I was like, okay, cool, it's happening. I'm very excited. I don't think I actually cried until they gave me this motherfucker right here. Yeah, I got motherfucking me ultrasounds and shit. Yeah, there we go. Is I'm a boy. This is are we gonna get dinged for this? Because it's in the womb.
Because you have a fucking ultrasound, nigga. You're fine.
No, because I have an ultrasound and it's a picture of my son's penis.
Let me check the time period. It's usually in the first 8 minutes.
Yeah,
you're fine. Nigga, it's a fucking.
Okay, cool. Yeah, here's my son's dick. That's weird. All right, let me take very weird. Yeah, no, it's
fine, kid. Yeah,
there it is. Right here. Yeah, you see that
the thing that looks like a dick?
Yeah, that thing right there.
Okay, well that's great. I didn't know that you were going to this deep, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not a foot, man. That's my son's whole penis. Like, but no, I was again.
Everybody looked big from a distance. Yo, shit. Nah, man, because like, look, it was such an ordeal that day, man, because you would just come down, like you would come down again to visit and shit, right? Yeah,
and we're going in for our little ultrasound. And it was like, okay, cool. We're having an ultrasound. I doubt we'll find out the gender, but we might. We go in, they start poking around. We're in there for probably like 15, 20 minutes. And little man is just like tumbling and turning. At the time, I didn't even know who was a little dude, but he was flipping around. He
the grimace, the Milli Vanilli dreadlocks.
No. Jose, I'll never do ass with Jose Canseco again. Yeah. Yo, so he is moving away from this thing. He will not like sit still so she can check him out, right? So we're like, okay, fine. Does everything look okay? Are they growing fine? They're like, yeah, they're big. Like they're growing like almost a week bigger than you're like projected. I'm like, okay, cool. That's what's up. And I was like, big baby. We leave, right? We pull off. As we're pulling down the road to turn out, like one of the tires.
You don't need to do this right now, nigga. Just keep talking about the kid.
Oh yeah, okay, cool, blah blah blah. I was just saying they basically we had a little like minor emergency. We had to come back. They called me back in. The lady was so just like ecstatic about trying to find out the gender. She was like, "Hey, look, I went to lunch. I went to physical therapy. You want to come back in? We can try to find this gender." And as soon as she called us back in, we rushed back. We got a ride back because our car was fucking up. And we got back in there and swear to God, she laid back on the table. And within like 5 minutes, she was like, voila, that's your boy. And I'm like, and as soon as she said, that's your boy, I just started fucking bawling, my nigga. I was like, oh my God, I'm having a fucking son. The same year that my pops passed, the same year that I'm turning 30. Like this is crazy, God. Like, thank you so much. This is an insane revelation. Like I get an opportunity to do the thing that like I told people, like not just told people, that the thing that I really deep and down inside my fucking soul wanted to do for my entire life. I wanted to be like a father. Yes, I want to do podcasts. Yes, I wanted to do radio. Yes, I want to act. But like, there's a part of me that like feels fulfilled, and like not just fulfilled, like there's just a deep desire to look at a little motherfucker that was made for me and like raise them and show them all the love and the care and the fucking enthusiasm that my parents showed me when I was young. Like I know I talked a lot of shit about like my childhood and crazy shit, but at the same time, like I had a beautiful time. I had a really good time, nigga. Like, I mean, you were there, nigga. Like,
yeah, I was there. Yeah,
you were there, nigga. You had a great time. And so I'm like, yo, I get to fucking try. It was all right. I get to try to do this and take all that and then make it better. Like I get to try, and then I just fucking I couldn't stop. I was like,
hey, you was crying. It's okay.
I was crying. Me and the fucking I held up like the sonogram lady. She was like, give me a hug. I was like, oh god damn, thank you,
big
boy.
You wore deodorant that day or what?
Shit, I'm probably fucking
dirty body on her ass. Or
nah, literally,
I was cats. So
nah, she just got done with physical therapy. She had a broke wrist. She was sweaty. She was good.
You don't know that. You projecting.
I know for a fact I probably didn't have deodorant on there.
Yeah, right.
I was just excited. Yeah. Ready to go. Oh man. No, and so she's like, Meanwhile, my fucking fiance, she's like happy, but she's stone faced. She's just like, I was excited, very, very cool about it. She's just like, look at my man over there crying. She's happy for me, but I'm just like, man, this means so much. Nah, man.
No, we did. Well, I mean, when I came home, I had told because Granny, the aunts, and the cousin, they were all at the teacher's house, and fucking, yeah, I mean, they had asked me like, how you feel about your brother having a baby? And I'm like, nigga, I mean, that's what he wants.
Niggas do what do.
And I told him exactly what the fuck I felt. Well, more or less, you know me, nigga. But fucking, I more or less look at you smoking in the house with a baby on the way. You fucking dickhead, man. And we've talked about this, nigga. I've been trying not to be on your ass about this shit. You smoking in the house that you about to have a baby in. What the fuck wrong with you?
I'm not about to have a baby in this house. I'm about to have
you don't know. Never mind. Anyway, I was ecstatic because I told them, they asked me like, hey, do you think it's gonna be a boy or a girl? And I told them we need a boy. You know what I mean? At this conjunction in our lives, we need a boy. So I'm just happy God bless us with a with a man cub.
Little man child, man boy.
With a man cub.
Man cub.
You know what I mean? I'm happy because I would have been happy if it was a girl too. You know what I mean?
Same.
I would have been happy. You know what I mean? Your kid might decide it's not a boy anyway. So you never know.
Yeah, I mean it's very true. I was like, damn, young nigga might decide he doesn't want to be Lloyd anymore, and I'm like, he gonna pick his own name.
Way to drop the government.
Oh,
but anyway,
yeah.
Like the actual government.
Yeah, no.
Like I thought I could get away with LJ, but fuck it, we won't.
I've named him after me.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Yeah, you gonna name him the third anyway. So
the third Treyway.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad for you. I really am. I'm very happy for you from the bottom of my heart. I'm like, I'm glad. I'm very, very glad. I'm glad it was this late in the game. I'm glad. I mean, the only regret that I have is that Pops is not here to see it. That's my only regret.
That is the top thing right there. I'm like,
but also, nigga, I'm not finna expedite anything just so you can be here to see it.
Nah, that was one thing I was like, I was very wary of like children and shit like that all the way through. I mean, actually, most of my life, I was like, oh yeah, no, hold on, watch out.
No. I've always prided us, you, me, villain, shit, even the step bros for waiting. For waiting.
Because even because we only have one brother, like our stepbrother, but that's blood anyway.
Yeah,
who has a baby. Yeah, exactly. Who has a child, right? And he had his baby at 28. Like he was 28. Because she's only she's about to be 2.
Gigi about to be 2, yeah.
Which is still very late in the game for a lot of people. I was worried about being an old parent, but I knew I was like, and
why?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, God got his own time. Like I hate to use like idioms from the church and shit like that, but idioms? Yeah, I guess that's
whatever.
Right. But I again, I was like, God got his own time because I was like, I could have slipped up a million times. I mean, there's plenty of times that I've dumped in the gut for like just less of nothing, just like, oops. Yeah, all right, here it goes. And I mean, it's been cool and stuff, consensual every time, of course. But I
don't know why you had to add that part.
Dumping the gut sounds real aggressive.
Well, yeah, but it's from International Players Anthem. It's the greatest hip hop song of all time.
It is.
So why would you? Now I'm looking at you weird. But
now it's like, hold on, man. Yeah. Anytime a nigga's got to preface some shit, it's like,
right.
wait,
totally consensual. Had a date with a broad.
How many lines totally you crossed here? You towing the line? What's going on?
Right. Nah, man. This is my girlfriend. She lives in Singapore and she's 100% real.
That's my tie. That's my Russian bride. She puts ketchup in the spaghetti.
That's a great movie. Anyway.
Yeah. Why did that stick with me so hard?
No, it's funny. I remember that movie. It's a good that's a good memory for me.
Yeah.
To watch Mail Order Bride with mom at grandma's house. It's a good little movie. It's a good little flick.
I'm only like 12.
Yeah. Yeah, I was probably like 12. Yeah, 12.
Yeah, it was about that time frame because we were still over. Granny was still around, so it was like,
yeah.
Yeah, and shout out. I'm so excited to like come up in a time framework because I grew up with all our grandparents. Like we said in the process, like, I had till the time I was like 8, I had like great grandparents, I had grandparents and shit like that. And at this point, my child is getting the opportunity, God willing, to have these people in his life Yeah, or at least a good chunk. Yeah, sure. Like, there are grandpas that are gone and shit like that. And grandmothers are, my mom's mom is no longer here with us, but there's still people around that like hold their memory like dear. There's still a lot of us that still like keep that shit up. And on top of that, like the level of like family interaction, because this is, I guess, yeah, the first grandbaby of the generation on this side of the family. Because nobody else that in our generation have had any kids yet.
Yeah, from the direct family.
Yeah, from like direct.
Our step extended family. They've had kids.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think it's I wouldn't say our grandmother's first grandbaby but it's the first boy. So
well, yeah, it's the who's the other one?
Right.
That's not a grandbaby.
Yeah, it is. What are you talking about,
Nigga? What are you talking about?
Grandma. That's her grandma.
You would make me work. yeah. That your child will be
that's
Granny's first
great grandchild.
Yes, first great grandchild. But you made it sound like there was another.
Oh no! I was trying to say
it's literally you at the top, me, Villain.
Oh yeah, no, there's other grandbaby.
The cousin. Yeah.
And
now we have the other cousin.
Indeed.
Who is basically like a niece. But anyway.
But yeah, she's still here. Shout out to her, man. She's growing strong, growing long, man. I love that little baby. She got some of the past in her, man. There's a deep.
No. I think Dad's soul lives in that baby. But
I'm just like, I'm ready to see what the fuck this little combo baby gonna look like, dog.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good. We still excited, right? We all happy, dappy. Yeah, happy, joy. My brother having a baby. Yeah, and I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. Really excited.
I can't wait.
Excited enough.
I cannot wait. It's going to be very interesting raising him like a multiracial kid. Not that it's like hard or something. Well,
it's hard.
It's not that it's harder, is what I mean.
It's harder
than raising.
I don't know if it's harder, but I mean,
yeah, I was like, being
there's
black,
more points of failure.
It is true. There's points of failure, and there's definitely moments where it's like, your identity exists in multiple areas,
or maybe it won't.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a situation of like, oh, well, we're just so progressive at this point, or we've lived this kind of life on the fringe. So,
I mean, if you stay in East Texas, that won't happen, though.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that though. I was just thinking about. I was joking around with moms about that. She was like, she's like, Lexi. Shout out Lexi. She's in the paper.
Nigga, you really would make me work today.
She's a fucking model under her own name. I don't.
Yes. I understand. I'm still like,
oh, about the relationship. That's true.
Yeah.
But shout out to her. She's in the paper that today.
I saw.
Yeah, I was super excited about her, and I was reading that article, right, and I was like, oh wow, they asked her a Black History Month question, and I was like, that's interesting because the rest of the interview is not painted in this light, and I'm just thinking, I was like, damn, well, is my child going to be Logic biracial or J. Cole biracial?
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. All right, is that the direction we go in real quick? Because I mean, I'm trying to make sure that we're still on the happy, joy.
No, we're still happy, nigga. I'm not.
And I can never kill your joy. I know I can never.
Yeah, no.
But you know me.
No, but yeah, we should attack we gotta attack the other side of the situation, right?
We don't necessarily have to because you had a Boruto bit, and I was gonna see if you was gonna try to tie that in at some point.
Oh nah, man. Like anime. Oh, we're gonna get to anime fathers and shit like that in the past, like as we go on. But I was like, let's go where we go organically,
right?
But no, we on the same page basically.
Right.
Because all I'm saying is that like looking at fucking grow like the way we grew up, right? And the fact that like again, we had every grandparent, we had all that shit, we had a chance to meet.
Yeah, we had a village, nigga.
Yeah, we had a village, right? I'm like, okay, cool. Now I got to take this little motherfucker and raise him in the village, but also kind of like not submit, but like deal with the fact that like her family, right, is a different. They operate way differently.
Yeah, they're white.
Yeah, like they're white. Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with being white. You know what I mean? Some of my closest friends are white.
But now
very important people in history are white.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with white people. I'm marrying one. I'm about to have a little baby who's half white. I was just looking at it like the village concept, right, doesn't apply the same way, right? And so when I come
why you say that?
So with the village concept, right?
Yeah, why don't you put your foot in your mouth?
Oh yeah, no, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, right? With and this isn't even just about being white. This isn't just about her family. I can't necessarily make this a commentary on like white families, but I mean, if it sounds familiar and you're white, let me know. And I've had a lot of white friends with similar experiences, but
I don't have white friends.
they don't get along. Like, even though like our family, right? We like when a nigga's estranged in the fam, right? Yeah, you still show up to the functions from time to time, right? Nobody speaks just ill of you. It's not a situation
That's
of
not true at all.
nah, I mean like to your face.
Eh,
Eh,
I think
I'd
it can
say
get to that point.
in our family,
Yeah.
I'd say in the last time
Nigga,
that's
I've
happened.
seen niggas screaming and crying at each other at our family reunions. I can't pretend
Oh
like
no,
we
see,
not.
no, hold on. That's a mass gathering. I'm talking about the intermediate family.
You
A
talking about
mass
some,
gathering,
like 8 or more?
not intermediate, immediate family. Like, yeah,
Okay,
so
all right. Yeah, not in the
I'm saying,
immediate family, no, but that's
yeah, no, in our immediate family, like I'm talking like from grandmother down, mother down, fucking stepmom, that kind of shit. Like, right. All of this immediate family, it's a very close knit group, right? If I need something, I can reach out,
yes,
call, right?
and that's when you're
If
dealing with them on an individual basis. Yes.
Yeah, all right. And if it's a big family level, then of course we have the people segregate, move off, and stuff like that. In the other sense, right? She is so estranged. Like that family, when they estrange themselves, they'll put niggas out. Like, right? They have deep history, right? Like when she has an aunt that basically like fucking walked so we can run. Like she got put out the house for having a black father, like a black boyfriend. And I mean, of course, it's become more progressive over time. Her great grandmother and me, not her great grandma, her grandmother and me, we get along very well. But as far as the rest
Even
of
though
the
you're
family,
a piece of shit colored,
yeah, but she's not she doesn't have a
I'm gonna
problem
get
with
you one
colors
day.
no more. She doesn't have a problem with colors anymore, right? She's
Yeah.
me and her like having
Anymore.
sit and talk. Yeah, I mean she's
Because
different.
I know my grandmama, and I know her perspective on because me and what's your name, like one thing that people don't realize, like, well, one thing that I forget sometimes is that
Is how far back the connection goes.
well, no, yeah, how far back me and what's your name's connection go, because what's your name's mom used to work for Granny.
Yeah.
Right. And like, when I had first spoken about it, it was like, oh, whatever, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And Granny, she was I think she was an in-home nurse or some shit.
Yeah, so at first she worked for a particular family.
I remember
right?
the families.
Yeah,
Because one of our friends ended up moving into that house after that lady died.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so, but originally the woman that she was taking care of, she was in a home. So they both took care of her. Miss what's your name's mom, I believe, working for the home, and then Granny working for the people.
They was working at Rust State.
Yeah, they worked at Rust State together, but they also, I remember the main portion of the time frame that like they spent more time together, or they were working together at it's a nursing home.
I can't verify or not verify, but nonetheless, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, man, how can you be so close with what's your name's mama and still hold all these beliefs about white people? That's crazy. Because like Granny don't like hunkies at all, bro.
She really doesn't. And then the ones that she cut for, these are ones that are like, you can tell she's like, oh, these are definitely the exception to the rule. Like these are situations where like, I was like, oh, because she'll ask about what's your name. She'll ask about him, his brother,
about what's your name,
his mom. And like, speaking of which, I saw his mom in the local Mexican eatery.
Okay, I hope she will. I hope she's all right.
She was good. She was very excited.
I love her. I love her to death.
Yeah, she was super excited. Told me to let her know when stuff was going down. I was like, oh, thanks. So she again, just shout out to her for being a beautiful, wonderful person. But it is crazy that like, having a good relationship with another white.
Right. But what I'm saying, but and I don't want to get this derailed or whatever, but fucking, I know how shitty it can get when you raising them in there. Cause Lexi went through it. I've decided not to fucking cut her name out. But Lexi,
I was gonna say again.
Lexi went through it. You know what I'm saying? Like Granny, she mom's mom, fucking Granny had her own reservations about white people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure,
there was
Lexi's,
definitely there was a disconnect in that. I could see it because we grew up right next to her. Is that she had life with these grandparents and life with these grandparents, right? And the way things kind of were handled and the way things kind of, like, the way people lived were different.
Or just the availability of the two.
Yeah, at Granny's house, at mom's house, we might eat at 9:00 because we've been up playing dominoes and bullshitting, and so now the crawfish is ready. It's 9, or like it took us 12 hours to cook the brisket, and it's like 8:30. Whereas like at her other grandmother's, they might eat at 6, right? Be in bed by like 8 or 9, but they've gone out.
I think you're making a sweeping assumption about that family, but it's okay.
Nah, I can pretty much guarantee they don't eat dinner at like.
Well, I mean, I think it's not normal to eat dinner past like 8. I think you're not supposed to do that anyway. But anyway, I think when I joined the Navy, that was the biggest institutional difference. Like that was the biggest thing that I had to deal with. It was just like,
friends are eating.
It's 8. I'm hungry, nigga.
Fucking child
What you
hall,
talking
man.
about? Rack out, nigga? I don't want to rack out. I want to snack out.
Nah, man, I want to get up in my drawers, hit the motherfucking the refrigerator, and grab
right.
some.
It's all good though. It's all good. It's whatever. I found a way around it.
You had to get used to it, man, and that's something that I'm trying to get out of the habit of doing, right? Because like I'll realize it's like, oh shit, it's like 5, it's like 6, and I'm like, I haven't eaten anything, and then not even really like concerned, not even be concerned about getting anything to eat until like about 8. And I'm like, damn, this ain't good. I mean, at the same time, like I go to bed at like 2, 3 sometimes. Right. I'm like, is that technically eating right before you go to bed? I don't know.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, this ain't the health.
That's beside the point. I think that's more not so much about like dinner time, but it's more so about like when you're willing to go to bed.
Yeah,
but anyway, I mean, not trying to take it so far off the rails, but it's just like there's certain differences culturally that kind of go there, and I wouldn't necessarily attribute it to being black or white. I would more so attribute it to like personal culture. Discipline.
That's true as well, but I mean, like, put it this way: I'm probably going to be very lax about my child saying "nigga," right? I'm going to probably.
I don't know about that either.
I'm probably going to be very lax about my child.
I don't know about that either.
I probably will.
I didn't start saying nigga till I was 13.
Heavily, I'll agree, but I was like, I'm here. I can confirm.
I was practicing cussing, but I was not. By the time I was 9, Pops was a loved curse words, loved cussing, loved it. It got to the. I'm desensitized to people saying cuss words. It means nothing to me. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't work it into my lexicon until I was like 12. And even then, that's fucking young. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you say like, and I didn't start saying nigga around mom until I was like 16.
I mean, the Boondocks came out. She was saying, I mean, I was taking more advantage of the nigga thing than like.
I remember mom saying like, oh, you can say it. But I was also just like, I
mean, I get it. It was one of those situations where I was like, I got to tiptoe. I don't necessarily know if this is actually okay. I was willing to try to fucking play to push the fucking boundaries. I wanted to push the limits. So I was saying nigga all damn day. I was letting it fly. So for me, it was a situation of like, okay, well, I think I do want to impart that curse words are just words. Like, if you're going to cuss, you just cuss, nigga. Like, it's not at me, never to me, and never directed at me. But man, I want to keep like context.
Are we done being happy, joy?
Yeah, speak about it, man.
We are happy. We are done. When I found out you were having a kid, I'm gonna be honest. I was underway.
Please do.
I was underway, and I was doing one of my weekly phone calls back home, and I was like, "Hey, babe, everything okay?" It's like, "Yeah, I just got some news for you," and I'm like, "Fuck, what could it be? What's going on? You know what I mean? Is Granny okay? Is the cousins okay? What's going on?" And she was like, "Well, you're about to be an uncle." And I'm like, "Is it is it villain? Is it villain?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Fuck. Fuck. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it took, I had to ease into it. It was like getting dunked in hot water. Because immediately I'm all like, this nigga can't. He can't. And that's not necessarily, because like your ability to deal with kids is not something I'm concerned about.
Got you.
I think that you can deal with kids. I just think that you have terrible personal discipline. Your personal discipline is absolute ass.
Trash.
Complete trash.
Garbage.
And I'm like, fuck. And I never realized that I had never thought about how scared I was for somebody to come up in a world like we did. Because, like, yes, my childhood was great. My childhood was fun. I had a great time. But I also remember being so fucking aware of things because there was not anything.
I can attest that I've seen that. I definitely have seen you go through that. even going back to like you trying to give Pops like $2 for his fucking
nigga, and I mean I cry about it all the time because like and I told you what happened. Like fucking we were on the way to see fucking Pawpaw in jail, right?
Yep.
Fucking crazy already, right? Not crazy per se, because like niggas who grew up like us, you know what I'm saying?
Well, sometimes you go visit. Yeah.
Lower, like damn near fucking in poverty and fucking, we all got to lap up and go see the fucking relative in jail. We're all going to jail, the prison, the penitentiary to go see somebody.
About 2 hours, 3 hours away.
Right. And I mean, like 7, whatever the fuck. Pops got fucking pulled over. And that shit scared the fuck out of me because like we was all fucked up. It was like 7, 8 niggas in the car.
8 niggas in the car, like most of them kids.
In a goddamn sedan, lapped up on the way to go see one nigga.
Yep. Baby, no seatbelts.
And that nigga served that nigga a ticket, and I was like, damn, we're not gonna be able to afford that.
$200 per kid.
And when we came home that night, I was crying my fucking eyes out. Like, Pop's not gonna be able to pay for it. He's not gonna be all right. Everything's fucked up. I went my piggy bank. And I was like, I'm about to go ahead and give him everything I got. Cause that's what I was willing to give this nigga everything I had.
I got it. This is all I got, but this is what I could give.
And that nigga was laughing. And I was like, nigga, you gonna go to jail. And like, I mean, it was a funny joke, at the time. Until 10, no, not 10.
It was about
13 years later.
Yeah. Suddenly
I'm
it's
22. And I found out Pops' license has been suspended for the past 5 years.
Yep.
Because he didn't pay that fucking ticket from when I was 7. And I'm like, damn, it really is a slippery slope. It really is a slippery slope. And
it doesn't take much. And it's terrible. Like that's something that I think about, man. Like this is where the kind of anxiety comes from it, right? Because I was like, damn, I don't think that I'm scared of parenting. I'm not worried about parenting. I think that as far as how much love the child is going to receive, they're going to receive tons.
It's not about that, nigga. They always gonna receive love. If their last name Johnson, they gonna get love.
They gonna get love. Hell yeah! But like, no, it was the environment that I'm about to try to bring the kid up in because me, as you like you said, you've laid it out. Like the personal discipline is ass, right? I'll look at a bill and say, look, right now, we can fucking put that off, right? That's normal. A lot of times people look at something and it's like, you're budgeting your life, budgeting your time frame. That's normal. I'll be like, let's go ahead and wait to the last bit, right? And I'll forget. That's what's fucked up about it is that like, I'll get to the last bit and be like, oh yeah, I got to fucking pay this. And then suddenly I'm looking up and the lights are out. Cause it's like, it wasn't a situation of like not being able to juggle this shit. It's that you make mistakes when you have these loopholes and shit that you're trying to go through. You may say
that's exactly what it is. It's not being able to juggle it.
Hold on, I got pissed. I'll be right back.
All right, yeah, I'll be back. I'm gonna go smoke too.
But I look at like my own personal responsibility, and like I said, I'll wait to the end, right? And juggling it, right? Sure. I know you say you can't juggle it, but my thing is this: like when it comes to juggling,
you can't. Nobody says you can't. But I'm saying, like when you let something slip off, that's the inability to juggle.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that what I'll say is this, right? For me, it's a situation of knowing that I can juggle it, right? But not accounting or not having anything there to like catch me if like or fucking a safety net or anything that's security in that situation, right? If I fucking flub it up, right? If I miss a deadline, or if I forget to do something, or if something comes up, right? Then suddenly that ball that I dropped, right? It impacts me pretty deep, but I've always been able to kind of hit the fuck it button and say, okay, I can thug it out until, I can get this taken care of, or I can make this extension happen as long as I'm like, if I can talk my way into this, then it should be fine, right? I've always kind of been okay with not only like dropping the ball, but also kind of like allowing the hard times to come. And I've kind of had to try to lax up on that in the process of being in this relationship. And I've gotten a little bit better, I feel like, as far as like it goes with our day-to-day lives. But at the same time, I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to add a third person to this equation. And if it wasn't for the fact, and this is, I'm super thankful for that I picked a partner who's not different than me, but who is different than me, who operates mentally a lot different as far as like, I am the type of person who likes to go off the candle, like off the handle. Like if I get a bill, all right, cool, I'll put it down. She's the type of person who's like, okay, well, hold on, I gotta write this down. Let me put this in a list. Let me go through and like lay out everything that I'm gonna need for this process. Or in order for me to feel secure, I need to go through and like see exactly how we're going to do this. Or if you tell me you've got a plan, then I need to go ahead and talk it through. And so having this other individual that I'm going into this with, like, right, having a partner in all this makes it to where like I have the fucking not the leeway, but I have the ability to kind of like come up in that. Like I have the ability to kind of grow in that situation. Right. Like my lackadaisicalness allows for like her anal retentiveness to kind of be like assuaged.
Do you want to rely on that nigga?
No, I don't want to be the man that always needs his wife to kind of come through and lay everything out for him at all. Like that's not the situation. It's not a thing of wanting to like always need it, but having that like this new support system, right? This new support system that I'm trying to build with her, that I'm trying to like lay out for our child and things. Like there are things that I'm looking at now that I'm like, okay, there are things that are unacceptable. Like there were time frame where like, okay, like I can deal with I only make right.
That's not
yeah, right. Oh yeah. Okay. I can deal with not making as much money right at this moment. Right. But at the same time, like now that I'm having a kid, I'm like, oh shit, there's a whole different level of like I've got to make these preparations and shit. Like I know for a fact that when it comes to the money situation, I have a lot to learn as far as like getting myself under control with my spending and shit. Because I look at it and go like, oh, I just live off the bare minimum. But it's a situation of like applying lessons that I've already learned and just being like pretty consistent with that shit. Like things happen. Like, you know, the motherfucking balls get dropped. It just goes down like that. It's the way like how I handle these moments of like, we don't have it at this moment. Like, can I tighten the belt? That's the big thing. Learning
right,
to
right. And I understand that. I completely understand the necessity to tighten the belt. But now that I've kind of gotten like better, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like living in a state of belt tightening is ultimately not how you want to operate from a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? And I understand, like, you know, we came up like that. We came up in a let's tighten the belt mentality, you know. Right. And I'm not saying that you can't operate in it, but that was my initial thought. Like, this nigga can't fucking. I don't want a nephew that's gonna. Well, fuck it. I don't want a nephew that has to grow up like that.
Yeah, in a state of always like in a state not excess. What's the word I'm looking for?
Depravity, nigga.
Depravity. Like you're always really understanding that it's like
because when you grow up in that and you experience excess or you experience anything else like that or even whatever, right? Like you have a weird relationship with having things, and I'm like, I really don't want
that mentality. We talked about this on the pod about the broke mentality, the poor mentality, or the mentality of living without, right? Of like there's a quote that lives in my brain now. It's just like there's no nobility in poor. Like there's no nobility in poverty.
Right. Like, and I mean, like, yes, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there is a degree of nobility that comes with like growing like that, but it's also just like
a degree of nobility in working. I think there's a degree of nobility in like having like a tough mindset and to pick yourself up.
Right. But it's also just like, is that what you want for your kid? You know what I mean? And I don't want that. I don't want to see the effects of that.
Yeah, again. on the new generation, basically. Right. Because like, I mean, what I'll say is this is that like what I noticed in like my fiance and things is that like when it comes to her wanting things or when it comes to her having things, she doesn't just want like something regular, right? If she wants to buy something, she wants to buy the thing that she wants, right? And I'm like, that was never me. It was like, I'll take what I can get, right? Like it was never a situation. I don't want. I kind of want my child to kind of have that mentality of like, oh, I can want things, right? I can want things feasibly, and like it's possible for me to get them. And not only that, but like I don't necessarily have to worry about what this is going to do to my environment by getting this, right? Because it was always a weird change off for me growing up. It was like, okay, well, if I get this PlayStation, then I know that we're going to be low on this or we're going to be low
Yeah.
on that.
Or I'll know that, like, by having this, I'm going to end up not having something long term.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I'm not, I'm excited. I want you, I want this
to be like,
go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, no, I get it. To be as a beautiful experience as
Right,
like,
right. And I want fatherhood to be something that's enriching, but not in the same way. I don't want you to have to learn lessons while you have a kid.
Yeah. Hold on, can you hear that?
Yeah, I hear neighbors, but it's whatever. It is what it is.
They're going in.
I know how it goes. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know. I worked through that. You know what I mean? Like I heard about it and I was like, fuck, man, this nigga's gonna have a kid. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't want to use terms like, oh, this nigga
no. But here's the deal. What you're not what I'll say is this is what you're not doing is disparaging me about like being a father or like making me feel like you're not happy about this kid.
No. But once again, like, nigga, we're not the fucking Todoroki's, nigga. Like, we're gonna be fine.
Exactly.
We're gonna be fine, but it's like I just
but being real about it is what is the best thing that you can do. Is like just looking at the fact that like this individual, right, this person that is not here yet, that's gonna be walking around with our names and shit, with my name and shit, right? You're gonna love and care about that individual, and they're gonna grow up.
Unless he's an asshole, then I can't really.
Yeah, he could be an asshole, but I mean, if
or
he's
an asshole, like be like fucking.
Yeah, whatever he decides to be, because at this
point,
they're
gonna be half white. You know how they be.
Yeah, exactly. It's very possible. My little kid could be a little uppity, but I hope he's got it with his little tablet and his glasses because he might get bad eyes. Who knows? I can't wait. I'm excited about whatever he comes out to be because I'm gonna love the little motherfucker through it. But but the thing is that acknowledging that life is long, right? Once they're born, right? Like, sure, I can make the first few newborn years and things like that because all that is looking after a child, making sure they have enough to eat and shit like that. But when it comes to instilling a mentality,
trying to simplify childhood.
I mean, baby, like I'm saying from like newborn to
simplify newbornhood. Now, granted, this might have something more to do about my own personal anxiety about, the responsibility of raising somebody. You know what I mean? Exactly. And I might be projecting that onto you, a person who's actually going to experience it soon. There's plenty of people out there who have kids who have less, and the whole
who have less, who have gone through more, who have more mental instabilities and things like that they're trying to.
And the kid comes out more or less fine.
Yeah.
But I'm also just like, please just try to make the best environment for the child that you possibly fucking can without trying to like explain it away from the poverty limit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's an opportunity where it's like, hey, look, you could do more. You could do more with less, right? You could do a lot. Like you could take this child, they could live in this life and they could have what would be considered a fulfilled and enjoyable time here as far as like under your tutelage and shit. But at the same time, you could push them to higher limits. You could want them to excel. You could want them to do more. Or they could
start at a better point.
Exactly. Like you could give them a better opportunity, like a starting point than you had, right? That's the big thing there. It's like, okay, cool. Like there are options, there are levels to this shit, right? The same way with me is like I can live and I can do this, right? But there are levels to it, right? I could just exist. You could participate, not necessarily be productive. You could be excessively productive. You could just have a vast amount of potential and it just not go anywhere. That was always the thing that always scared me, was like the reason I have issues with expectations was because I was consistently and constantly told about my potential. Right. It was like, oh, these are the things that you can do. These are the things you could do. And not that was
what you
bad.
Represent. Yeah, that's
exactly. It's not bad. But at the same time, it was like, for me, it put me in a different mindset. I ran away from that type of thing. And I never want to put like a child in that again. But it's more than just like trying to get your kid to avoid the shit that you went through or avoiding the shit that you feel.
Right.
Because they're different.
The best thing that I had ever heard was like, when raising your child and trying to prepare them for a world, you can't try to prepare them for the world that you lived in, because the world that you lived in is not going to exist by the time that kid comes up.
it's going to definitely be different. Like I'm talking to my fiance, and I was like, yo, it's crazy that like console gaming could be completely different by the time that Trey is like 15. Gaming could be like all fucking AR shit. Like we could no longer be looking at physical TVs. He might just have a HUD going on. Like, how do we stop our kid from watching porn or too early or some shit like
Well,
that?
and it's something it's
Or,
something that I've been trying to allude to because, like, I've known for months. The family has known for months. Close
yeah,
friends and family, what I mean, have known for months
and
that you were
associates,
getting
I've
ready
known
to,
for a while. Yeah,
that you've been getting ready to have a kid. You know what I mean? And parts of me are like, damn, man, this nigga can't really focus on like trying to build a fucking podcast or trying to build a personal brand while you got a kid
yeah,
on the way, or even like after you have a kid. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a million times harder. You know what I mean? So certain expectations that I have of you can't stand or whatever, right? But I have been like, all right, let's challenge the nigga. Let's see if the nigga, can think critically about how he's gonna raise his kid. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Because I'll be all like, I can't remember exactly what the situation was, but I think it was something like I had asked you. I think it was the adult animation cartoon episode
yeah,
where I had asked you like, is this something you're gonna try to shield away from your kid personally? You know what I
hmm
mean? Like all the risque shit, because like what I mean, like we both know that the shit that we tried to that our parents tried to shield us from, the very
yeah,
small shit that they tried to shield us from. Um,
exactly.
it's gonna be even harder for you personally, like as you have a kid. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a kid
Yeah.
that's gonna be in generation beta, bro. Like
Yo,
the niggas after alpha, like you're gonna be raising kids in that time period, and you don't know what that fucking looks like.
no, no. I don't know what he's gonna be into. I don't know what the trend's gonna be. I don't know what kind of shit. Like, I gotta keep up. I barely keep up with the new slang now.
Well, I mean
Yeah,
that's very surface level in that
yeah,
regard, but it's
yeah.
just like
That did.
the
Yeah, I gotta.
values of that time period.
Yeah, what's it gonna mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
when we grew up, there was like two genders, and then you could be bi, you could be a transvestite, you could be, there was there were options, but there were labels on everything, and the labels have changed drastically, right? The fucking comedy, right? When we talked about shaped a good chunk of our lives and how we perceive things, that's in a completely different place, right? The politics, blah 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 blah, fuck that. But we're in a different space there. Who knows what new historical events are going to go down? I'm
right. That
raising
are
a
gonna
post
shape how they
COVID
come
baby.
up.
Yeah. Raising a post COVID baby, right? Like, I mean, there's always
Well,
going to be
your
things.
child will know nothing about COVID. It never went to like they never went to school
Nah, it'll
during
be,
COVID. They never dealt with COVID. You know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
might be a whole different thing. You know what I mean? But you're going to be a person who experienced COVID and have to like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, bro. I genuinely
yeah,
don't know. And it's something that terrifies me in different ways and makes me think about like, okay, well, what influence am I going to have over a kid that came up like that? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't anticipate having kids for a couple years, but you about to
yeah,
have one like now. So
yeah,
your crop is going to be the ones that kind of have to set the pace. And on
yeah,
top of that, they're going to be fucking half white, bruh.
yeah. It's going to be real. To say, to like, when you
Well,
say
that's no
words like,
disparagement to people who are half white or people who
yeah,
have
no,
white
it's just
spouses or nothing
different.
else like that. I just know that like racial identity is a thing.
Yeah,
And you know what I mean? Like it's gonna mean different things in different time periods, you know? Like mom being I'm not talking about mom. Moving on.
nah, but I mean, like things could change. Like, right, you might be a situation where, like, okay, well, cool, you're a mixed race child, and in fucking 10 years, they might like have you have to check a box of like, are you black dominant? Are you white dominant? Right? Do you identify? How do you identify? What do you like? This racial identity could change vastly, and that is something that I have to think about in the raising of my child, because it's like, absolutely, I want to instill in them that like being, be black, be proud, but also there's no need to just feel disparaged or less black because you're half white. You don't need to also at this. Hold on. Yeah, you don't also need to feel like you have to hide the fact that you're black. You don't have to, go around. You don't need to feel awkward or strange around your white relatives and things like that because you're half black, right?
Right, but you can try
There
to
exists,
see, you could try to instill that in your kid,
but how they feel is a completely different thing.
right?
How
Or
people,
how it is going to be a completely different thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because it's just like, oh, you don't have to feel like less black because you're half white. It's like, but you are less black
that's
because
black.
you're half white.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I
true.
mean? And that's no
That's true.
disrespect. Like once again,
No, yeah. Shout out to my,
I love your fiance. I think she's one of
of
the best
course.
things that has ever happened to you. But fucking, you know, it's just it's knowing what's gonna happen. Like, and
Yeah,
even just the nature of having a kid, like, trying to raise a kid to align with a lot of your interests and all that other shit. Like, bruh, your kid might not be a fucking nerd, bro.
nah, they might be sporty. They might
Yeah,
not
they
even
might
be.
be fucking,
They could be.
or they might just not do shit.
Yeah, they could just be into anything, right? They could do. They could be into fucking. I'm a puzzle kid, I'm a fucking. I
Or I
like
just
book.
don't give a fuck type shit. And it's just like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I know you don't want to walk into your, I know you don't want to walk into fatherhood with expectations. And I don't have,
Mm-mm. No, I don't want to walk into like. The thing is that no, you don't want to walk into fatherhood with expectations, but you do want to try to prepare yourself. Like that's the thing is like there are some things that we're like, okay, hey, I want to be able to have thought about this conversation before you brought it to me. Like I'm aware that likely at some point in time, my child is going to come to me with something that I've never dealt with before. Right. And that is going to be a very interesting process because it's like, okay, well, now it's like, I've got to see where their mind is. I've got to see, I was like, have I given you critical thinking skills? Have I given you empathy and sympathy to look at the situation and explain it to me so that we can try to come up with an answer? Like that type of shit. Right. Because I look at that situation and there are some moments where I'm like, okay, like I don't necessarily know if I've had the opportunity with like my parents to explore my critical thinking skills, right?
you don't feel like
I'll,
you've had that?
well, I know that I've
Because I
had like,
felt like being raised with them niggas was an exercise in being like a critical thinker. But
well,
our perception of getting
yeah,
raised
yeah.
is different.
In terms of like money, in terms of like bills, in terms of like keeping up with things, like there was a level of consistency in some points. Like in terms of critical thinking, like if I had a problem, right? If Pops took me outside and I'm looking at a car or like I need to fix something, he's going to go ahead and say, these are the main things that you need when it comes to that. Take a look and tell me if you got those things, you know? And then I would try to go ahead and solve the problem from there. With mom, she would try to like say, okay, well, this is what is essentially expected of you. What do you think? Like, and then
No,
go,
and I get it. Yeah. From a bird's eye view, I will
yeah,
never. If there's one thing I appreciate about mom and pop is that they always made sure that we took inventory of what was going on. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I'm
You
very
can
aware
make
of
better
it.
decisions when you have a clearer idea of what's going on. You know.
Yeah,
And I think that came from necessity. I think that came from making sure that the kids had a grasp of what the fuck was going on.
but I'm trying to think about how do you expand that? Like, what the proponents of that
Or
that
do
is
you
missing?
even need to expand that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing. Is like, is that the end all be all? Was that enough for me? Like, there was a degree of that's a skill that I learned, right?
Or
But
will
is there
that be necessary even when your kid when your kid
exactly?
becomes of age? You know
Or
what I
is there
mean?
a skill that can come through it and complement that as well so that there's like even more? Like, was I missing a puzzle piece just having this ability? Like being able to take account of my surroundings or look at what the fuck's going on versus like having the wherewithal to say like I didn't like necessarily ever sitting down and just learning to do something on my own, right? I would like to have somebody around to kind of get me checked out, but my kid might be vastly different and tell me, hey, look, I don't need you right now. Like, just step back, and if I come to like, there's a lot of different leeway. Like, there's a lot of ups and downs with that situation where I'm like, there's because it's not just me in there, right? It's not just me in there. This kid come out with traits from like our an uncle, right? This
Well,
kid,
it could just come out with just not being anything that you had seen before. You know,
yeah,
like I don't know. And I'm not a child psychologist. I'm not a
no,
fucking parentologist or none of that shit. I'm just a worried nigga that wants to make sure that everybody that I like that is in touching distance of me is able to prosper. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Not only that, but be mentally sound, like as much as possible. Like to not only prosper, but have a good foundation mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing is, I'll say this: you can be as prosperous as possible, but if you don't necessarily have like that background or that love, or that thought process, that you might not like your prosperity is not something you necessarily might enjoy, right? That's the thing is, I do want the child to be like fucking generally happy.
Yeah. That's so much shit, man. It's
Yeah,
a lot
no,
of
no,
shit.
definitely. We could talk for hours
I
about like
don't fucking envy you at all in this regard.
no, but I mean, what I do is like I try to go through and look at different examples of fatherhood, even like random fucking fictional ones and shit, and try to see what I can glean, what's good, what's bad. Like evaluate motherfuckers. Like the way I kind of examine relationships and shit with people and their kids, vastly different. I can't watch anything with kids anymore unless and without crying or thinking about like my child or how I'm gonna try to deal with that, man. Like I said, I was reading Boruto and I was like, damn, nigga, like Boruto's got to
Yeah, I
grow
was
up.
reading the most mid manga in the world, and
Hey, it is
all of a
it
sudden
is
I started
mid for
thinking,
now. It is mid for now. I'm hoping that it gets better. But I started thinking, I was like, damn, like I could go before my kid gets to be an adult,
right,
right?
I can go to a
I mean,
whole nother dimension before my child becomes of age.
exactly.
It could happen.
I can hit my soul sleep button and then just be out till my kids shows.
Right.
Yeah. Nah, man, but like I be like, I'm looking at that shit. I'm like, damn, I would never leave my child like high and dry and shit like that. But I'm like, how do I go through and make my kid stronger mentally, right? How do I go through? Because like, remember, mom, she would do shit like when we got to a certain age, she would just drop us off. Like she would just be like, all right, cool, this is the middle of the road. You get out.
When the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, you remember when she drove us out into the country and said, get out the
She
car?
never did that. What the fuck you
You
talking
definitely
about?
did that. What are you talking
No,
about?
no, she talked about it, but what the fuck you talking about?
No, I got out the car. I remember.
Yeah, you did, but like, nigga, we came right back and got you, so don't start that bullshit.
I'm not saying. I would say it's little shit like that. You don't remember when she would be like, "Okay, well now we're
No, I
gonna go."
remember her talking about it, but I'm also just like, eh.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying that she raised like she left.
No,
Us
nobody raised us as wolves, but I
wolves.
am just like, let's be realistic here. I know what this was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like looking at these situations and going like, putting your kids through these types of obstacles and things.
Which is a dumbass obstacle to put your kids through. But anyway, it's stupid as fuck. That's stupid as all fuck to do that. But I feel you.
All alone.
Yeah, right. Here's the wilderness. Have a backpack. No, nobody's doing that. Fuck that.
No. But I'm just looking at shit like I was like, there's little things where like some of that shit was kind of fun. Some of that shit was really heinous and annoying. But I'm like, what do I add?
Some of that shit felt like science practice. And I mean, I think that's a degree of parenthood that I have no interest in trying to implement. But I feel
this is just like, hey, look, but here's my hypothesis. Let me see how my child reacts.
Let's do the scientific method on a fucking child.
But is my baby gonna cry if I leave it alone in the field here?
Yeah. Yes, it will.
Anyway, definitely.
You had mentioned earlier that you were looking at like examples of fucking fatherhood.
Example of fatherhood and shit like that. As far as
I have this idea that fictional fathers are just a fucking story method. Yeah. And they're not really there to be anything for the kid. I've never seen a fictional father that I desired to to emulate. But hey, man, you're a different nigga.
No, I was gonna say I was like I was having hard pressed to find any fathers that are really out here in like anime, except for Maze Hughes. But Maze Hughes didn't
even
get a chance.
That nigga no.
That's what I'm about to say. He didn't get a chance to actually.
Me personally, I'm so GD. What might your set be? Right.
Push off, Bucko. I'm so GD. But nah, man. Fucking Maze Hughes being so excited about his child and being doting about the kid and things like that. That's never. He didn't live long enough to actually get a chance to parent. Right. You look at fatherhood in fucking anime. Probably my own like. One of the better fathers and still one of the worst because he tried to eat that nigga was Yu Yu Hakusho's dad. I mean, Yusuke Urameshi's dad, excuse me. Who was like, it wasn't even his dad. It was like his fucking paternal ancestor.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just looking at that nigga like, okay, well, that's a decent example. He tried to eat him, but I couldn't find, I was looking around. I was like, damn, these fathers in anime suck. But you know who's actually trying to do something better about the situation? Fucking Naruto. Naruto is actually trying to put time in. I mean, he didn't start till after that nigga was much older. And it wasn't until he was like 13 or 14 when it was like, oh, wow, this nigga needs attention and love and time and shit.
You talking about Minato?
Nah, Naruto. I'm talking about Naruto as a father.
That's fair. I don't know. I'm one of the niggas that believe the fatherhood is complicated and hard.
Yeah,
It's
and very difficult.
complicated and fucking hard. It's
No,
complex and it's just there's no
there are way
easy way
better.
to
There are
turn
way
around.
better examples in like books and shit. Like if you look at another fucking nigga from goddamn To Kill a Mockingbird,
Atticus
Atticus.
Finch.
Atticus Finch, right? Yeah, classic, pretty decent dad. He was like, hey, look, you guys can go out and live your lives and you can go out and find like some, fucking shut away, fucking wives' tale, urban legend nigga, Boo
Well, that's because
Radley.
he was an old dad. And also, like, Atticus Finch isn't fucking real.
He is not a real dad.
Yeah. None of these niggas are fucking real. You know what I mean? Because even, like, once again, these niggas are plot devices, bro. YouTube is the better dad, bro.
YouTube's a better dad. Yeah, actually, shout out to YouTube fatherhood content. All right. Shout out to you guys for making content about fucking being a dad. Here's looking at you, belief in fatherhood. Shout out to you for showing me that, nigga, because as an opportunity to go through and try to find something that I could like look at as not necessarily a North Star, but a really good example or a decent example of like a black father and who did it different than what we did or how we experienced
I don't
things.
think the way he raises his kids is that much different.
No. But he is raising his children in an environment that allows them to see not the poverty or the things that they don't have. Right. I don't think that his kids operate in that. Like as far as what he's shown, as far as what he's shown through his channel, and I mean they're pretty active and pretty involved, and the way that his kids are reacting, the way that his kids kind of live their lives, or even showed to like the audience and shit. It's not ever a situation of them needing or wanting for shit. It's more so them like participating in activities and them being allowed to kind of like explore and shit. They're like their minds are not there. I mean, mind you, they're fucking. I think his kids are top out at 10, like
Something like that. I don't know.
His oldest is not. Well, I don't think his oldest is 10.
I don't know. I don't know. I look at anybody that
Either way.
makes their parenting content as like, I'm not seeing the full picture.
No, of course not, because there are obviously bad days.
Mhm.
But I think that the lessons that he tries to teach, or at least not the lessons, but the examples that he tries to show through his family and their experiences is really like fucking helpful. I don't think that I plan on making a whole lot of like dad content and shit like that. But I think that as far as the like future of the platform, the future of the pod and shit like that, I think I will, there will be more like dad content. I mean, because I'm not gonna be able to do all the recording and shit like that without having the baby around. So there will be probably a time frame where like I might be holding the baby while we're talking or some shit like that, or like I was like, hey, give me a second, I gotta go change, young nigga. But that's gonna be a whole.
You don't call your kid a nigga?
Yeah, young nigga, little nigga, my young
white man,
a young bitch.
You think your kid's gonna be black passing?
I'm kind of light. I was looking at
because I think that you're one of them niggas. And never mind. I'm gonna put you out there.
Nah, put it on.
I ain't gonna put you out there. No, go ahead.
You think I'm one of them niggas that's gonna have a white baby?
No. It's not about what the kid actually looks like.
Oh, okay. What's it?
I don't want to, because I'm at the point where it's like I can't paint you in a negative light. I want to make sure the niggas look at you like you're positive nigga. So beside the point. Right.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I love it. And what I'll say is this: as we kind of like get ready to close and shit, I'm mad appreciative of the fact that you've always been real. Our entire lives, you've always been real. You've never been a yes man about a lot of shit. Like, you've always been a supportive nigga, but especially in this situation, right? Especially live on wax, to just be like, yeah, nigga, I was like, fuck. I was like, fuck. It shows me that I'm always going to have somebody that's legitimate in the corner, especially when it comes to raising my child and shit. Nobody's just like, oh, he's so adorable and cute. This was great. Now take him back and do your thing. Like, this is going to be a situation of having an uncle that is real deal involved and not somebody that's going to come down in a spaceship, beat my ass and try to take him away.
No, I would never. That's a
Raditz joke.
I get it. I know what it is. Yeah. I know what it is. I would never. Even though it's possible Gohan was better in Raditz's hands. But
that would have been a very interesting time frame.
Want to do it for the clip? You want to do it for the clip? You want to do it for the clip, nigga? You want to have a fake dialogue about Raditz raising Gohan? You want to have a fake ass dialogue about that?
I was gonna do it.
All right, cool. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
All right, bet. So Raditz drops down in the motherfucking spaceship, right? The orb.
You gotta set the clip up right, nigga. You gotta set the clip up right. You gotta set the clip like, yo, Raditz would have been a better father than Goku. That's a perfect clip. I dare you. Go for it. Let's see you riff.
I got you. Yo, so look, yo, I'm just saying, in my perspective of looking at fatherhood shit, I'm saying that Raditz would have been a way better dad than fucking Goku, man. I'm telling you, Raditz.
You're bugging.
I tell you, Raditz would have been a better dad. Look, man, Goku was barely around, right? You look at him, he's like, yeah, sure, he was carting him around to show him to all his nigga for all his friends and shit. Like, oh, yeah, because that was, remind you, the day that Raditz shows up, right, is the day that Goku decides to introduce everybody to, his child and shit.
Even the way Raditz held that nigga was way more just more fatherly in general.
Yeah, exactly. It was never just a situation. Raditz was just like, yeah. He was never he was never like, he never represented himself like he was gonna leave my nigga, right? He was never gonna represent himself like he was just gonna leave Gohan.
No, Raditz was 100% 10 toes down to be the dad that nigga needed.
Absolutely, man. He would have taken Gohan off. He would have if Piccolo hadn't showed up, right, to help Goku out in that fight, and he would have just dusted Goku off. Dusted Goku, Goku's dead, right? All right. He takes Gohan, zips him off into space, right? Now Gohan with this immense and amazing potential, right? He's out here. He's going to get over this whole Earth thing. He's only been on Earth for like a solid 2.5, maybe 3 years. Like, he's not that. He's 4. Yeah, he was 4. He's been on Earth for 4 years, man. In the grand scheme of things and the fact that there's stars out there, this nigga's gonna be fine. We already know he has amazing mental potential, right? We already know he's smart, basically, right? He has the capacity to learn. He's not learning dumbass Earth shit anymore now, right?
Like chemistry.
Now, yeah, he's not learning dumbass Earth books. He's not limited to Chi-Chi and her vast array of books and shit. That I don't know. Is that bitch ordering this shit from catalogs? Is she forced Goku to fly into town and buy books for the kid? I don't like that because remember, Gohan had tons of like study material and shit, so we don't know where they get that stuff from. But he's in the fucking stars or Raditz, right? This nigga gets an opportunity to learn about this like fucking space travel. He gets advanced mathematics and fucking shit like that. And on top of that, mind you, even though Raditz is weak in terms of being a Saiyan, but in terms of Earth shit, he's the strongest motherfucker that ever dropped on the goddamn planet. So now Gohan's got an opportunity to really train, right? Because remember, he did so well under the tutelage of Piccolo, who was basically just like, I'm going to drop your bitch ass off in the middle of the woods and you got to go live. Now Raditz is like, I'm going to drop your ass off on a planet and I need you to wipe it out. All right. Gohan is going to be Gohan's becoming a hard nigga. That nigga is going to be a ruthless motherfucker. And on top of that, he's going to get stronger. Now, meanwhile, I bet you back on Earth, they've gotten the Dragon Balls. They've wished Goku back. And now they're trying to get into space. And fucking Raditz is probably taking goddamn Gohan back to Vegeta, that would be crazy. He's taking Gohan.
I'm telling you, Gohan underneath Raditz would have been a way different nigga. He would have easily wiped out any threat that Earth ever experienced.
All day, any day. Because I mean, like after, I feel like there would be a time frame where like Raditz asks him to do some shit, and he decides he doesn't want to fucking do it anymore, and he stands up to his uncle and he dusts him. And so when Raditz dies, it notifies Vegeta, and so it's just Gohan out here trying.
I'm sure he would have met Vegeta at some point, way before that shit happened.
Yeah,
like Raditz would have been still alive. Goku would have been dead. But whatever fucking bullshit happened, I don't know. This is a dumb clip.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even believe half the shit I'm saying. But
nah, I mean, I truly would say that Gohan probably would do better under that because it looks like he needs a hard hand, like right.
I guess.
Like I'm just saying,
there would be no Super Saiyans if that happened.
I think that
it would be no Super Saiyans if that happened.
The only thing that like it literally, I mean, Gohan would have to have like formed a bond with somebody that's that deep,
and then that person would have been dead, and then we'd have a Mangekyo Sharingan.
All right, nigga. That's a side right there, man. I appreciate
whatever. We'll make a clip anyway.
Going down on that fucking list with us about Raditz and goddamn Gohan, man. But all of that shit to say, I'm super excited to go down this fucking fatherhood journey, man. I'm super excited to be podcasting and fucking making content in the process of doing so that I can share with you guys my experience so you guys can get to know my new family and shit like that to a degree, right? I got to keep a level of mystique, a level of mysterioso, if you will. But again, thank you so much for clicking on this link today. Thank you so much for joining the podcast with us and me, my brother. Speaking of my brother, yo, you got anything you want to say to the people close?
Absolutely nothing. Just make sure, you know what I mean? I'm about to be gone for the next month or so. So if you see this nigga on another podcast doing anything else like that, make sure you support his fucking face. Make sure you support the brand. We got big shit coming on the way. Things that I need to work on the second I get back. And yeah, just really big shit, man. Y'all check it out.
Indeed. Like he said, we got huge things going on while my brother's out. I'm going to be doing guest spots. I'm going to be doing an entire another podcast that you guys aren't going to see for a good little while. But, you know, shout out to them. Shout out Ty Black and Culture. You're amazing. I'm so excited to get this new journey with you. Little promo, little side thing. You know, we got shit in the works. On top of that, guys, you know, we're still making YouTube content. There will be streams in the month of March. There will be streams in the month of March. I will be getting on you guys to let you know about all the new up and coming shit that we're doing. Again, we love you. Thank you so much for being here at the pod. It's the Well Spoken Token, and I'm out.